right, we are live and we are back. And this is our first show for the season or for the year, is it, Joe?
It's not for the year because we were
That's
back.
right. We just took a little bit of hiatus.
Yeah.
Tonight we're talking with Jason Pitts. Hi, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
So basically, I ask a simple question to start out with. With you, since you're not really into the paranormal, you're more into the horror films.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll change it up a little bit. So, what got you really interested and started in doing all that? And you can maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, so people who would be watching kind of gets an idea.
Yeah, like how I got into horror films.
Yeah. What got you started in it? What got you interested in it?
Just when I was younger, my parents would take us to the drive-in theaters and just watching the double features. Like I was like between the ages of like 4 and 9, going to see these horror films in the back of a Chevy pickup truck at the drive-in theaters, and just captivated me growing up watching those films and the imagination and the creativity behind them. And so that was the seed that started it. Watching all of them in the 80s, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Return of the Living Dead.
So. Oh yeah, Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead. I love those. Yeah. Those actually, I really like those a lot. So, what was the first one you ever seen? Do you remember?
Yeah, the first one I remember seeing. I remember seeing the John Carpenter's Halloween. And then I remember seeing Return of the Living Dead, the first one. And so those were my first two vivid memories. Yeah.
Interesting. So did you ever see any like Jaws or any of those type too?
Not in the theaters. Yeah, I watched Jaws like on VHS afterwards. Yeah, I think that came out in the late 70s. I was born in 80. Halloween also came out in the late 70s, but during one of the double features when I think Halloween 4 came out, they screened the first one along with it. So
yeah. So yeah, for all the youngins out there that don't know what a VHS is, it's a cassette. It's like it's like an overgrown.
I think I had one here a little while ago.
What was it stand for, Joe? What did the VHS stand for?
I don't remember, man. I really don't, and and that's sad because I used to work.
But yeah, we were talking the other day about a movie that Weird Al Yankovic did. It's called UHF.
Yeah.
I remembered what that said or what that stood for.
Now you got me. Yeah. Okay. You continue. I'll look it up and I'll get back to you.
I'm a huge Weird Al fan, so I know all about UHF.
So what kind of projects you been up to?
Lately, I've been working on a series of 4 short films. It's called the Alone Saga. The first 2 films are out, and they're doing pretty well in the film festival circuit. Have won lots of awards, and gearing up to film the 3rd installment in the saga. It's called Lonely Echoes, and we got an Indiegogo going for it right now.
Cool.
Yeah, and we're doing each one of them in their own separate subgenre of the bigger horror genre. The first film's called Alone, and it's like the psychological horror film, and then the second film's called Masquerade, and it's like the home invasion slasher film. We're gonna do Lonely Echoes, like the investigative horror film, kind of like Silence of the Lambs, or Seven. Yeah.
That was a good movie too. Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. What was the other one you said?
Lonely Echoes.
7?
No, yeah, 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of doing it like in the same style as those films.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if I've seen that film or not.
7 was the one with
Brad Pitt,
Morgan
Morgan
Freeman and Brad Pitt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. 7 Deadly Sins.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that. I knew
Good
that one. I knew that one. That actually was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
A little gory in some of the parts, but it was really
Had to be.
really a good movie though.
They were
Yeah,
trying
very
to
suspenseful.
cross.
Yeah. And also, in addition to those, we have a Friday the 13th fan film coming out on Friday, May 13th, and it is a Bigfoot versus Jason film. So
Oh, that ought to be interesting. Oh, we might have to watch that.
yeah,
Bigfoot versus Jason. Does it take place up by Crystal Lake?
it does. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to
Alright,
back
cool.
that Friday the 13th.
Cool.
Promote it.
Now see, there you go. Now you're doing all this the horror genre, but then you go and bring a cryptid in.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's right up our alley because we've got a few of those sightings around here, and we've
Yes.
actually been invited. We just haven't found the time to go with somebody that goes out into a very popular area, I guess.
Yeah,
Sightings are pretty
well,
dense.
the area that this person goes into covers probably 3/4 of Wisconsin. So it
wow.
stretches all the way from the south end all the way up to the north.
I think it's the biggest forest system we have.
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it might be the biggest forest system that we
And
have.
it goes up near, I think it starts way up near Green Bay area. Green Bay.
I think it's actually further than that.
And it goes all the way down south.
Yeah.
Almost to the border.
And actually, where I live in Wisconsin, I'm not that far away from
Kettle Moraine Forest.
Yeah, some of the Kettle Moraine. So, but yeah, I guess being down there in Arkansas, you probably have pretty good wooded areas to do some of the filming then.
Absolutely. We actually filmed it in Kentucky, though.
Really?
Yeah, there's a town called Louisa, Kentucky, just on the border of Kentucky and I believe it's West Virginia. But very, very nice town. I met. What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mute your mic.
One of my friends and film associates lives in that area, and she was a producer on the film, and she was able to get some locations for relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's why we chose to go there.
That's pretty cool.
Well, they probably have some pretty spooky areas, though, too. Especially if you want to film out in some woods and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could just imagine. I've never been there, but I could just imagine some of the places you could find.
So you ever think of doing anything like filming a movie shoot kind of like in a cemetery?
Absolutely.
Cemetery?
Yeah. The problem with that is getting permission. I have a short film script actually called The Cemetery, and I've tried to gear up to get it shot several times, but I haven't been able to make it work because every time I think I might have a cemetery that fits the film, I can't get permission to shoot there.
Really?
Yeah, people are usually it's like the towns.
I bet you get a hold of some local paranormal team in that area. They might be able to get you permission.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Great idea.
Because I'll tell you a story quick. We filmed at 3 cemeteries in one day. It was all about the witches of Whitewater. And while we were out at the one cemetery, actually we saw them at all 3, but the first one we saw them at, we saw these big trucks there, and there's this huge, big, well-known paranormal team in this area, and they were there. and they had, what was that guy's title? He was from the Chamber of Commerce.
It was one of the main people from the Chamber of Commerce in the town, and
So he was there with them, and he was unlocking areas that
some of the crypts
normally wouldn't have access
Wow.
to.
Yeah, he had some of the crypts. He was unlocking and letting them into some of the crypts so they could film inside.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the the paranormal field, a lot of the investigators and stuff, especially in certain areas, like a local area or something, they can possibly open some doors for you with some of the filming that you would.
They have some good contacts, I'm sure.
We've made quite a few contacts over the 2.5 years or so that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the doors that can get opened for you and the things.
Yeah. There are a lot of doors to be opened and a lot of things you can do. So
awesome.
We're not done yet. That's for sure. I mean, we've got. I don't know how to do it. Okay, but we want to make a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just don't know how yet.
Okay. Yeah, we're probably going to have to find somebody.
We've already got a lot of footage for it to make this documentary.
Yeah.
We've already got the footage. We just gotta, there's like just the 8 hours from the first day alone.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, we were. It's about the Beast of Bray Road, which is one of the
cryptids,
werewolf type.
Is that up in Wisconsin?
Yes.
It's a werewolf.
That's what some people are saying, that it would be a werewolf. So.
Yeah, like half man, half wolf, or a wolf-like creature. It's always described as a wolf-like creature that walks bipedally.
Yeah.
They see it walk across the street. I mean, the road is like 2.5 miles long. No street lights.
It's always the same road.
Pretty much, or in the
same area, within the same area. Probably a 30-mile radius.
And then close by is a property that we didn't name it this, but the property, since we've been there the first time, has since been dubbed kind of like the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on.
A lot of weird activity happening there. And we know that for a fact.
Yeah, we did an overnight investigation there.
That's where most of our footage comes from, besides driving down Bray Road. We've been out there three times now. Remember the first time we just filmed the footage of us driving down Bray Road at like a midnight. And it was full moon at night. And that full moon was the only thing that gave us any kind of light on this road.
Except for the headlights in my car.
Yeah, except for the headlights in the car. There's no street lights. Makes perfect sense if you're driving alone, quietly listening to the radio or something, and it's zoned out. You could see, a coyote eating roadkill and misidentify.
Right.
But I'm not too sure about that because there's a lot of stories. I don't know.
You guys got interviews with people who have seen it?
Well, the guy that we talked to,
the guy that owns the property. The guy that owns the property that we were talking about. We've got like 8 hours of footage of him talking to us about what he's seen, what he's heard.
I'm crashing your stream.
Oh.
No.
See, I told you I was going to get visited.
Hi, Papa.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hi, Kayla.
That's precious.
Look, you want to say hi?
Hi.
She can't hear me.
No, they can't hear you because I got the headphones on.
Go say hi to my best friend.
Sneaker.
She's very shy.
She sees herself on the camera up here. She couldn't figure it out.
Hey, Mark, where's Minnie?
Show Papa.
Oh, there he is.
This guy?
Hey,
He
that
doesn't have his
Leon?
braces anymore.
That's
That
Leon.
Leon?
Yes, it's Leon.
Holy shit, kid, you've gotten big.
I got my braces off.
I see that.
Yay!
Wow.
Cool, man.
All right, come
He
on.
must have hit one hell of a growth spurt since last time I saw him. Holy cow.
That was my daughter and my 2 grandkids.
Awesome.
I knew they were coming over. I figured they'd pop in,
Pop in, yeah, say hi.
do a quick hi and everything. So
He's been on us with an investigation or two.
yeah, she went with us on an investigation. So
Did
Yeah,
she have fun?
oh hell yeah, she had a lot of fun, and we caught evidence that night too. Some interesting stuff.
Was
But
that the art mill?
no, we're supposed to be talking about and with Jason here. Come on, quit getting off on our stuff.
I worked on an episode of Ghost Adventures once.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I forget what season. I think it was early. I think maybe season 4 or 5. But it was an episode where they were investigating Fort Chaffee here in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Okay.
And I got on as a PA production assistant and got to work on that behind the scenes. And I'm actually in the episode. I play
Cool.
in the reenactment. I play a prison guard who gets in a fight and hangs himself. You see my feet kind of flopping. So that was fun.
Oh, that's good. Well,
Met Zach and Aaron and all them guys.
yeah.
Oh.
Zach Baggins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go out to back out to Nevada and see his museum he's got.
Hmm.
I think that would be really interesting.
How far is that from you?
A long ways.
Oh,
Yeah, we're if you look at it at the states, we're like upper central.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
but yeah, I'd love to go out to Vegas and actually see that museum that he's got out there. Some of the stuff he's got in there is just crazy. But so in all your times of filming and everything, and you've been out in the woods doing some of this filming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard weird things happening or seen any weird things?
No, the only time that I've ever questioned something, I was about 19, and I had a friend over, and he was staying the night, and we were sleeping, and I heard a noise, and I sat up. He was on the floor, sleeping on the floor, and I was in my bed, and I sat up, and I looked at my closet door, and I swear that there was a man standing there, just like watching us. And I don't remember what happened after I saw him. I just remember waking up the next morning, and the door was closed, and everything was fine. So that's always kind of stuck with me, and it could have been a dream.
Yeah.
But I've just assumed that it was a dream, but it felt real,
Yeah.
and it scared me. But that's the only time that I've ever questioned something.
Really?
Did you go to school for all of this?
For a film?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a degree in radio, television, and film from the University of North Texas.
Cool.
I mean, it's amazing. I'm reading some of this, and it looks like you've won quite a few awards.
Yeah.
Your film.
Alone and Masquerade have both done really well in the film festival circuit.
16.
Yeah.
The Alone won 16 awards, including Best Director, Best Editing, Best Makeup. And the second film, Masquerade, 11 awards. Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Acting, Best Horror Short, 5 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That if you look behind me, you can see a lot of the awards on the wall right there.
Oh, that's what those are? I thought
Yeah.
those were diplomas.
And that's the poster for Masquerade right there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
So
been
where
doing
can
well.
people watch these? Just YouTube?
Yeah, you can go. I'll send you guys the links to both of them. But you can watch Alone, the first one on YouTube right now. You can just go search Jason Pitts Alone on YouTube, and it'll pop up. Masquerade isn't available publicly yet because it's still early in its festival run. But
Right.
once it's kind of wrapping up its run, I will make it public on YouTube. But
Cool.
one of the perks in our Indiegogo for Lonely Echoes is it's a $5 perk, and if you get that, I will mail you a link to Masquerade where you can watch it.
Wow.
But I'll
Okay.
send it to both of you guys for just so you can watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to step away for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
So Joe, take over for me, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So there's a fourth one yet. So there's one yet to come.
There's two more to come.
Well, let's see what I'm reading here is it says Lonely Echoes is a third in a
Right.
short form in a series of 4.
Correct.
You've
Yeah,
upped
Lonely
it to
Echoes. We
5
haven't.
now?
No, it's 4. We haven't shot Lonely Echoes yet. So we got it's not made yet. The Indiegogo we're trying to get the budget to shoot it.
Had to raise the budget.
Yeah, and then the fourth one is called Unmasked, and that's probably a year or two away.
Yeah, I did a lot of research at a local guy here that was a filmmaker. He was out of Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, he's passed away before he could make his final film public. He was working on it, from what I heard, and 'cause I was a big fan. His name was Tom Loffigan.
Mm.
He did the Billy Jack movies.
Okay.
They were a bunch of independent films. People mistook them as martial arts films, but they weren't that. They were more about the corruption that went on in the 60s and the 70s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just always fascinated with people that did stuff like that, and he was one of my heroes growing up. But it must take it's got to take a lot to do what you do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
a lot of planning.
You do a lot more than just the directing, though, don't you?
I write and produce and do the directing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's boy, that's having your plate full.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
a polite way of putting it, I guess.
It's when you're doing what you love though, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, yeah, it makes things a lot easier because then you enjoy it, less stress that way. Maybe I don't know, unless you're a perfectionist. You know, I mean, one of those people that's got to have things absolutely perfect, looking for the
I'm
perfect sound, the perfect shot, the perfect.
right. I'm a perfectionist on some things, but on most things, I'm pretty easygoing. And film is a collaborative art where it's not just the director or the writer or the producer. It's a whole team of people,
Well,
and it's important that everybody is able to
have the right
contribute.
chemistry.
What's that?
It's all about chemistry. You got to have
Yeah.
that chemistry to be able to work together. Yeah, I mean, you've seen those movies out there, like I have, where you've seen them, and they've cast them very poorly.
Hmm.
You know, and then you see somebody make, and if they cast it right, and those people got the right chemistry, that cast, the
Yeah,
movie, it'd
it's
be a
amazing.
blockbuster. Yeah,
Yeah,
it can make a difference.
huge difference. The chemistry is very important.
Yeah, I couldn't do that stuff. I got stage fright. I don't know how I'm gonna do this year. We gotta go. We gotta go in live in front of an audience
Oh
this
wow.
at a conference in Milwaukee.
Is being on doing this right here? Does it not trigger your stage
It
fright?
did at first.
It did.
It still does. I get really nerve wracked before, all day.
How long have you guys been doing it?
Since 2017. We started in 2017, and we were basically pissing people off.
Mm,
Okay, because we were talking the two taboos you just don't talk about on a podcast. We were talking politics and religion, and then a whole mess of other things. So that wasn't so good. We weren't getting a whole lot of subscribers or viewers or followers or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, we decided in 2019 to switch to the paranormal. And we did that. And our first investigation is one of our best videos on YouTube right now. And we're up to 102 subscribers or 103 subscribers. We've done it all the hard way, never paid for advertising. Just
Right.
I do all of the work and post all the stuff, design all the websites. So, but it's all for fun. I mean, I enjoy it. The best part of it is, with the guests like you, having you on here, and thank you for coming on, by the way.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You get to meet a lot of interesting people from all around the world without having the expense of traveling to them.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
And you're in the comfort of your own home. We're in our comfort of our studio or whatever. It's fun. It's enjoyable. We've met a lot of people, and it's great. And then when you go out in the world to investigate, you meet a lot of sometimes you'll run into other paranormal investigators, and that's interesting as well. It's just been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I think you're doing pretty good overcoming that that stage fright, getting out of the pushing yourself. So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I probably couldn't have done that part without Mark. So my buddy, I've known Mark for 25 plus years.
Very, very important to have a support team.
I got him in trouble on the first day that I started working where he was working. I got him in trouble.
What'd you do?
I put one of these phony parking tickets, and at the end of it, it says if you park like you fuck, it's a wonder you can get it in.
Oh my god!
And I put it on my brother's car.
Yeah.
He went around accusing everybody. He got to Mark. He started accusing Mark, and all Mark could do was sit there and laugh. So he swore up and down Mark did it.
It was him.
Until, I don't know, it was a few hours later, eventually he saw me walk in on my break, and he realized that I started working there. And the only reason he didn't know that I was working there or that I did it, I mean, dumbass knew I was starting that day because at that time my brother and I were roommates. And the thing was, he just didn't know what car I had because shortly before that I had just bought like this car. It was like the third one that I had. So he never saw the car before. So he didn't even know, he could have, he probably looked out at the parking lot and scanned and didn't see one of the other cars that he was probably looking for. So, which helped. So, yeah, but when he saw me walk in, he's like, yep, I knew who did it now.
It was you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we played practical jokes on each other it was like a holiday tradition,
Yeah.
But with him and I, after I got the leukemia, because I got diagnosed with leukemia in 1995. So this was after that. We were close for a while there. My brother and I were pretty close. So, and yeah, so we sat there and did a lot of practical jokes. Our family did that for years. Most of the time, it was like somebody would be the butt of the joke at Christmas, and they'd get all these Christmas gag jokes, So, you never knew when it was going to happen, who was going to pull what and when. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That sounds like a lot of fun memories.
Yeah, it is. And I was living with him back in 2010, and it was like Christmas Eve, and my daughter calls me and says, "Dad, radio station's trying to get a hold of you. You want a trip to Vegas?" And I wasn't so sure. I knew people at the radio station, and And so I called the radio station, and sure enough, they were. But at first, I swore up and down I was being pranked.
Getting ribbed, yeah.
But I did. I won an all expense paid
Oh
trip
wow.
to Vegas, and now I'm involved in a lawsuit with them because they lied to me. I mean, I go down to Vegas. You see that sign. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there and I got married, and damn it, she came back with me. No, but it's been great. It was my whole family thought it was going to happen. We were like, no, we didn't plan it. It wasn't anything planned. My daughter got a little pissed because she thought I was going to take her down there, and it's like, why would I take you, my daughter, to Vegas on the most romantic weekend of the year? Because it was for Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think so. It might have been different if I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, but I had been dating my wife at that time for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, shit, we're going to Vegas.
Going to Vegas and
Garth
gonna get
Brooks.
bitched.
Well, I got my first plane ride, and that was my first time to Vegas, my first plane ride, and that was her first concert.
What'd you guys go see?
Garth Brooks. I wanted to see
Garth Brooks. Wow.
I won tickets to see Garth Brooks at the Wind Hotel, and we stayed at the Wind Hotel. And we had one of the very special shows because his wife, Trisha Yearwood, showed up for that show that we were at.
Wow.
And it was just Garth Brooks, a few hundred people per show. And it was just Garth Brooks, his guitar, and a bar stool. That was it. It was one of these very personal concerts where he told you who his influences was, the whole works. And it's a concert you don't see too often.
Right. Usually it's all glitz and glamour and production and
Yep.
stripped down like that is really cool.
There was no band, no backup band, no backup singers, just him, a bar stool, and a guitar. That was it.
It's pretty awesome.
And the audience wasn't too big. I'd say maybe 300 people tops in that room.
Oh wow.
So per show. So he was staying there for, it's like one of those, however long those stays are in Vegas when those stars stay, and they got the big production outside with all the lights and the glamour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. So, but he had a run there for a while. But Trisha Yearwood, that show that she showed up at, that was the only one because it was the night before Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So, and she flew in from wherever she was doing her tour at just to be with him, and she totally surprised him on stage that night. So it's
and all the fans too.
Right. Yeah, it was totally unexpected. So we got the airfare, round trip airfare, the concert, the hotel. It was all paid for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And then we got married on Valentine's Day and came back on Valentine's Day. It was my first time in Vegas. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play Texas Hold'em though.
Never been to Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's one place I haven't been to.
Yeah, I heard you being kind of a horror film buff, I could see this being turned into a horror film. They have a population of people that live in tunnels underground there in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, look it up.
Like Chud.
Yeah, Chud. That movie Chud?
Yeah, Chud. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love that movie.
Me too.
I scared the hell out of my girlfriend at the time with that movie. I used to wear cowboy boots all the time, and we saw it at a friend's house, and we had to take the bus back home. And every time I'd see a manhole cover, I kind of like hit it real hard with my boot heel, and she freaked. I almost thought one time she was going to climb one of the telephone poles like a cat.
He's so mean.
So
Yeah,
I was just gonna say,
Humanoid
remember what that
underground dwellers.
it's cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Yeah.
They made
Yeah.
2 movies out of it.
Gee,
There was a second
what's
one.
it?
Yeah, there was a second one.
I only knew the first one.
Yeah.
No, there was 2 of them made. I'm a horror. I was a big horror fan.
So,
Unfortunately, my wife.
so I guess is there any? Of course I wasn't here. You know, I had to go. Mother Nature screamed at me, so I had to go take care of the business. Is there any particular type of horror film that you're wanting to make that you haven't made yet?
Like I would really like to do a like a gothic haunted house film. I have an idea that I think is really cool. But yeah, I would love to do that.
Oh, that I'd love to see.
Yeah,
Kind of a mashup of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and no. There was a movie called Gothic. Have you ever seen that?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, and that actually was based on the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
yeah,
Kind of like a mix-up or a mashup between that and The House on Haunted Hill.
yeah. Or like The Others. Have you seen The Others? Others is really good.
I haven't seen that yet.
But I would also I have a script for a slasher horror film, kind of like Scream. It's called Murder U, just like the letter U, like a university.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to get the funding for that and film that. It's a feature, but yeah, like a really like a hardcore haunted house type thing, like The Conjuring, or I would love to do something like that.
No, The Conjuring was actually kind of interesting.
I love The Conjuring. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool to do, though.
Yeah, be a lot of fun.
I mean, just think about the haunted houses we did in the past and what we could do now.
Oh yeah.
Right tools and technology.
Yeah, but he's talking a little different than what we did.
I know what he's talking. No, I know exactly what he's talking, but still, it would be kind of cool.
Did you ever see The Quiet Ones?
No, actually, I haven't.
You should check that one out. It's about like some paranormal investigators and really really good. It's a haunted house film, but yeah, you guys should check that one out.
I haven't seen a lot of. I don't get to see a lot of horror films unless my wife is sleeping or she's not here.
Yeah, his wife and my girlfriend over here, they really don't like the
scary
films. They don't like the horror films much.
Yeah.
I used to be really into them. There was a B-type horror film that I actually liked. It was called Puppet Master.
Oh, I love Puppet Master.
That
Yeah.
was a good series.
Six shooter. It's awesome.
Yeah. What's that, Joe?
That was a good series, the Puppet Master series.
Yeah, I like the Puppet Master.
I have Blade.
And then there was the Wish Master. That was a good one too.
Yep. Yeah, remember during the time that those were popular, I was working in the video stores.
Yep. Full Moon Video took those. They are the ones that ran with that.
Wishmaster was like the Expendables of horror before the Expendables.
Oh yeah, kind of.
They had Tony Todd and Robert Englund and Kane Hodder and Andrew Divock. A ton of people in it.
Yeah, the funny thing with England is, if I remember right, he got his start on V.
Yeah.
And then he went from that. I think he did a couple of smaller B type, and then he became Freddy.
Yeah. What do you think of those people making Hollywood making those remakes of those classics? That like they're remaking, they're coming out with another Candyman, but Tony Todd's not going to be Candyman. You know, or you know.
I have mixed feelings about it. They can make all the remakes they want, but it won't change the original. The original is always going to be there. People can still go back and watch it. Sometimes the remakes are really freaking good. I think that the remake of Texas Chainsaw, the 2004 remake, was fantastic. I also think that the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead was amazing. So like the remakes, they're hit and miss. Like a lot of times, you just have to really know what the like identify what the soul, what made the original great, and kind of expand on it. And I just think that a lot of times they do it as just like a cash cow, and there's no heart in it, and that's
Yeah.
that's where it falls apart.
That's kind of how I think of it too. That
Yeah.
some of these remakes, because they're not as good as they need to be or should be, or when they make the sequels and the sequels just kind of flop.
Mhm.
I think what they're doing is they're cashing in on the name of the one that actually started it and made that genre and that particular movie series the best it was.
Absolutely.
Kind of like with Child's Play. The
Yeah.
original Child's Play, I really liked it a lot compared
Really
to
good.
this new one. This new one,
Fortunate the
I
box.
don't like how they did Chucky in the new one. I don't like it the way they made him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. It doesn't look right to me.
Mm-mm.
When that came out on VHS in the video stores, man, you couldn't keep it on the shelves. I mean, the second it would come in, you didn't get a chance to put it back on the shelves. It'd be right back out again.
Yeah, but that was a really interesting play on the way that they did that.
We
Where
got rid of
they brought the
dolls.
black magic and they actually brought kind of like the paranormal into that movie.
Yeah.
Because that's how he transferred into the doll.
They just kind of left it. Like they really didn't come back to that. Like surely there's more spells, right?
Well, yeah, there's got to be more than just that one to put him into that doll.
Right. After that, he just turned into a slasher doll. And just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
they
would have liked to seen more of that. Right.
They lost their imagination.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think that would actually be kind of an interesting movie too. I mean, and if you look at it this way too, with the Blair Witch Project, that one was
a fluke.
See, the both of us think that was kind of a fluke. It really was.
I don't know what that was.
No, it wasn't a fluke.
That was part of a fucking contest brought to you by Blockbuster Video, and they won it.
No. So what made the Blair Witch is the marketing campaign. They launched it with that documentary on the mockumentary on MTV. They did so the marketing scheme on the Blair Witch Project was absolutely brilliant, and that's what made it so popular. The movie itself is okay, but
yeah.
I couldn't watch
it. It's
kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, it was a cool concept, but it wasn't a fluke. There was very, very calculated strategy there.
And then, of course, they went and made a Blair Witch 2, which they, again, with that one, they capitalized off of the original. And then Paranormal Activity went and they did something similar to what the Blair Witch was and actually made that a success. And now, what is it now? Up to 5?
Yeah, there's 5 or 6. Yeah, I think the last one was the marked ones.
I don't
next to Kin. Next to Kin was the last one. Yeah.
I don't keep track of movies.
That's right. My daughter was trying to get me to watch that one. But honestly, I should have a chair sitting right here with another mic and camera for her because she is so into this slasher horror type movies. She would be better at it than I am because I've kind of lost my way when it comes to the horror movies and scary films. The old stuff, the original stuff. Yeah. I was there. I watched it all. But this new stuff, I don't know, man. It just doesn't appeal to me like the older stuff does.
Yeah. Every once in a while, there's a really good one.
So where do you get the ideas of this stuff for your movies?
So Alone, I was talking with a friend of mine who is a music video director, and he wanted to start doing films, and so we kind of sat down together at an IHOP and just started talking about brainstorming about ideas and what we could do for a short film that would be easy to do, just a few locations and just a few actors, and we came up with what if you guys haven't seen the movie, so I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, the idea for Alone came from that conversation, and we just developed this concept of all of these characters in this film are alone in their own different ways, and then built a story around that theme. And then for Masquerade is a very similar conversation with the actress who plays the lead character. All of the characters in Masquerade are either figuratively or literally wearing a mask. So it's like we like humans put masks on, you know, in their lives, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically everybody when they're out in public, everybody wears a mask.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when they're in the private, then the mask comes off, and and then it depends on if you are close to that person that you can see that the real person themselves.
Yeah, and so we built a story based on that theme, that idea, and I believe that when you do little short films like this, the best way to do it is to start with a theme and build a story out from that, and weave that theme into the characters, and it's got to be something that is like just very basic that a wide audience can relate to, and so that's what we tried to do with these films. The next one, the theme of the next one is guilt. Everyone in the film is dealing with some kind of guilt for something that they've done or didn't do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now I'm thinking I want to see them.
Well, good.
Hey, good. You should go watch them.
Yeah.
Everybody should go watch them.
I agree. Everyone should go watch them.
I'll tell you though, my experience, my first horror film experience was Jaws.
Oh man.
My cousin took me in to see it, and when the movie was done and we were leaving, all this section right here on my shirt was chewed up and wet because I was sitting there just chewing away at it, and I was 8 years old when I seen it.
You turned into Jaws.
It was nuts, man. It freaked me out, and I don't know if I ever recovered from that, because going out on the ocean, I've been out on the ocean a couple of times, deep sea fishing, and it's
no way.
It's crazy.
I got reasons, but no.
Because that kind of stuck in the back of my head about that shark. And it's like, I know it was all fake, but Jesus, man.
Yeah, them sharks are scary.
No, I'll tell you, you want to know what my first was? It was a double feature at a drive-in.
Yeah.
It was a movie that actually had a warning label on it that said if something along the lines that if you had a heart condition or something, you shouldn't watch this film, right? And it was called
Cannibal Holocaust.
It was called The Gates of Hell.
Okay, Gates of Hell.
And they had people buried in the backyard, and they kind of used them they were feeding them to people like hamburger. You'll grind them up later. And these people that were buried in the backyard had like potato sacks over their heads. But that was his first film. Second film was the main feature. That was the first in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, I know there is a series that I actually enjoyed up until the fourth movie.
What's that?
And I haven't seen the other movies in the series, and there's already 9 in it.
Wow.
And maybe 10. And that's the Hellraiser series.
Oh, yeah. I stopped watching after 3.
Yeah.
When they took it into space, that was kind
of I'm done.
That was a little out there too far. And then they went and did the same thing with Leprechaun.
Leprechaun in space.
Yeah.
And then they did it with Jason.
They had Leprechaun in the Hood first, wasn't it?
Yeah, Leprechaun in the Hood. Yeah.
And you know the weird thing? Now this is really weird. I don't know if a lot of people actually know this. There's two actors that got their true start with the horror movies. One of
There's
them
a
was
lot of them.
one of them was Jennifer Aniston.
Leprechaun.
Her
Yeah.
first movie was Leprechaun.
Mhm.
The other one, who's a very famous actor right now, got his start in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Johnny
Depp.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first ones killed off in that.
Leonardo DiCaprio was in Critters.
Yep. Critters was kind of fun.
Yeah. Tom Hanks' first movie was a slasher in 1980 called He Knows You're Alone.
Really?
Oh,
I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of
I'll
them.
have to check that.
A lot of them start with horror. A lot of them do. Brad Pitt's first film was called Cutting Class, another slasher film.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, he went on to star as Louis in Interview with the Vampire. Him and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So, I do like certain types of horror genres, but there are some
They go too far.
Too far out there.
Yeah.
Like the Saw, like Saw. Okay, Saw, for instance, is kind of almost every single movie. Yeah, it's a different scenario, but they're almost identical in the aspect of you got to lose a limb or an eye or something in order to escape the trap.
Yeah. And then in the later ones, you can't, like, there's no way to escape. Like, they're just rigged just to be.
Yeah, it's just there to give you that blood and gore.
Yeah. Torture porn.
Yeah, pretty much torture porn. That's about right.
Porn.
Well, I think we found a new word for Joe.
That defies the no-win scenario. Saying that there's a no-win, and I don't believe there's a no-win situation like Kirk says. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, there she is again. What's up?
Oh, I just want to say hi.
So you've done how many movies overall have you done so far?
All of the ones that I like, all the short films that I did in college.
Oh.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'd say it's close to 15, maybe somewhere between 15 and 20. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to sit down and think about it and count them all.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not all of them are on IMDb.
No.
Yeah.
So you're on there. Huh? I should have looked.
I still have to say though that I honestly think the originals from the 80s and early 90s are some of the best.
Don't forget some of the ones out of the 70s. Man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the 70s too. But I mean, I think the
You were
best
alive,
ones are the older ones, the originals.
But you don't remember the 70s, or is that when your Alzheimer's started kicking in?
Dude, I was born in '68. You're older than me.
1868? Was that 1868 or 1768?
No, it was '68.
Oh, so you were just born in 68.
It was '68.
So that's 19 or that's really old, man. Phone's gotta be pretty right now.
I don't know. It's just that there are certain movies that just are good to watch.
Yeah.
And they have a good concept to them. They got a good storyline to them. But again, like Joe and I have said, it's just I feel that Hollywood has just screwed everything up lately. That's why
unless it's Marvel.
Dude, Marvel has been going crazy.
Yeah, Marvel's
They've been kicking the snot out of it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a Rubik's Cube as well.
Hellraiser Puzzle Box.
Yeah.
It's a Rubik's Cube as well.
Sweet.
What is it? There's actually 3 of those boxes from the Hellraiser series.
The bigger one.
I think there's supposed to be 3 of those boxes from the series. 3 different boxes.
They open different things or what?
Yeah, they open different ways and different areas of hell.
You
I
see
did
them
not.
in like
I
the
did not
second
realize
and
that.
third movie. You see them. They're
I
like
think the 3rd movie you see all 3 of them.
yeah,
They have all 3 of them sitting there.
they're like under glass
Mm.
on a guy's back.
But yeah, it the Hellraiser series is really good. I actually liked it a lot.
It's been a long time since I have seen the 3rd one, so I did not remember that. They're doing a remake of Hellraiser.
Really,
Yeah, with a female Pinhead.
Oh jeez.
they
Pinhead's a
just ruined
female.
it. They just ruined it. I'm sorry. No offense to women, but they just ruined it.
Yeah,
Well, some things you shouldn't change.
I will give it a shot. I'll see what they do with it, and then make my decision afterwards.
Yeah, I'll wait till it comes out on a streaming service, and then I'll give
Yeah.
it back because I'm not going to sit there and go to the theater for something like that.
I think it's supposed to come out this year sometime. Actually, let me look it up here.
You know, I mean, I saw those first ones. I barely remember seeing the Hellraiser the first time I saw Hellraiser. I barely remember that one.
But yeah, one of the most famous lines in Hellraiser, and it's a quote from the Bible.
Jesus wept.
Yep.
You know that. Here's one. What movie that screwed you up the most, or what's the like the horror type movie that just freaked you out the most?
It's really been a moment in Return of the Living Dead when they have the female corpse on the gurney and Ernie is interrogating her and he's all like, "Why do you eat people?" And she's like, "I don't eat people. I eat brains." And he's like, "Why do you eat brains?" And she says, "It's the pain, the pain of being dead. I can feel myself rot." And that sequence, that moment, uh, still gives me chills, and
Yeah.
it's so creepy. The movie itself has a lot of humor in it, but that scene is it makes my skin crawl.
Art,
What?
what movie creeped you out the most?
Jaws?
I'm not sure. I think Jaws would probably be the one. I mean, that's the one that creeped me
Jaws.
out the most because that was my
Jaws.
very first one.
You know what
But-
one got me the most? Videodrome.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
You
Yeah,
know,
Videodrome was an
where
interesting
he
one.
just started sticking his own hand in his stomach and with the and it's or when the tape started bubbling and all that whole thing just because he intercepted that transmission because he was trying to get yeah I did
Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah I don't know I'd probably watch it today but yeah it still give me the freaks
The heebie-jeebies.
yeah exactly yeah.
Yeah, but I still, I don't know. I think, what's your favorite ones?
My favorite of all time is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I think for its time, the concept and the idea was groundbreaking. You had never seen anything like Freddy before, and he was brutal. He was scary. Um, and he wasn't the comedian that he becomes later on. He wasn't dropping one-liners. He was just wrecking people's faces. And the scene in the bedroom where Tina is flying all over the room, up on the walls and the ceilings, and just blood everywhere. So terrifying. And just the thought that concept and that of somebody comes after you
Yeah.
is terrifying. So for me, not the original Nightmare on Elm Street, hands down,
Yeah,
best
I
best
get
one
that.
ever.
That I get because that was an original concept for its time to kill you with your dreams like that while you were asleep. That was a great movie.
I still think the one that I like the best and the most was the Hellraiser.
Hellraiser's good, man. Clay Barker or something. He's very
yeah. Clive Barker, he does very good when it comes to writing those scripts.
Yeah. They had great special effects too, man. Those hooks and
yeah,
got
the hooks and everything. So Joseph,
I don't have a favorite. I mean, I've watched so many movies. I mean, if I had to pick, I think I'd have to go with that one Carpenter's film. Sometimes They Come Back.
Sometimes They Come Back isn't a Carpenter's
Vampires?
film. Sometimes They Come Back, I believe, isn't that a Stephen
King? Yeah, it's a ghost story.
Oh, there was a vampire one that
Carpenter did one called Vampires.
That's it, maybe.
Yeah.
Vampires, yeah.
I have a hard time remembering some things that I've seen.
Sometimes.
It's been a long time since I've watched good horror movies.
Yeah.
I think it's been quite a while since Hollywood's actually produced a good one.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, I was
anyway,
also a big fan of Stephen King too. So I mean, Pet Sematary scared the hell out of me.
Pet Sematary for me.
Yeah, that's what I said. That one scared the hell out of me.
That one was freaky as hell.
It was.
Yeah, and that was originally, from what I understand, was his first book. He put it down.
Actually, he had to quit writing that. I think
that's what I said. He
3
put
or 4
it down.
times
Later, his wife found it in the attic.
He finished it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, yeah, we're already
a lot of him as he was writing it. Yeah.
We're already at our normal market share, so
yeah, but this isn't a normal show. So
well, I want to go eat.
All right,
it's dinner
time.
There's food sitting on the table right now that just got here.
What are we having, Mark? What's for dinner?
Meathead pizza.
Ooh,
meathead pizza. What the hell is a meathead pizza?
It's Italian sausage, bacon, ham, and pepperoni.
And where'd you get this from?
Place about a block and a half away from where I live, called the Brick House.
The Brick
House.
They have some. They have. It's like cracker crust, so it's really crispy.
I heard that's really good.
It's really good.
How far away do you guys live from each other?
About 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. Yeah, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So
we used to live too close.
Yeah. We used to live around the corner. We used to literally live around the corner.
Lived in Madison, and it was like about a block and a half between when you were on.
Nope, it was half a block.
Half a block.
Yep. The house you were in. The one road came out in front of it, and the house I was in, it was the second one off the corner, up around the half block.
That's when we were building all those haunted houses back in the day.
Well, Jason, it was awesome talking to you, man.
Yeah.
We'll have to check out your stuff because I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on, guys. Thank you, Mark and Joe, for having me, and I will send you the links to the films.
All right, cool. Thanks for being here with us. And
absolutely, enjoy the pizza.
I plan on it.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Good night.
All right.
All right.